Once upon a time, in a small village nestled between lush green hills, there lived a farmer named Ahmed. He wasn't the wealthiest man in the village, nor did he have a big mansion or expensive clothes. But there was something special about him. His heart was full of kindness. Ahmed's farm was modest, just a few acres of land with rows of vegetables and a handful of animals. He worked tirelessly, waking up with the sun and going to bed when it set. Every morning he would step out of his little cottage feeling the soft, cool breeze on his face. The scent of the fresh earth would fill his lungs and his heart would swell with joy. Life was simple for him, but he always found ways to make the world around him a little bit brighter. One particular day, as Ahmed was walking to his fields, he noticed something strange. On the edge of his farm, there was a small sapling growing. It wasn't one he had planted. It seemed to have sprung up overnight. Ahmed paused and stared at it for a moment, then smiled and said, "A gift from nature." Curious, he decided to water it just as he would his crops. Days turned into weeks, and the little sapling began to grow. It sprouted delicate leaves, and before long, it had become a small tree. Ahmed didn't know what kind of tree it was, but he didn't mind. He kept taking care of it, watering it, and making sure it had enough sunlight. One evening, as he was working in his garden, a traveler passed by. The man looked tired, his clothes dirty from the long journey, and his face weary. He looked at Ahmed's farm and then at the little tree that stood proudly in the corner. "Excuse me, sir," the traveler called. "I've been walking for miles and haven't found a place to rest. Would you mind if I sit here for a moment?" Ahmed smiled warmly. "Of course you can rest here," he said. "Take a seat under this tree. It's not much, but it's the best place to sit on a warm evening." The traveler sat down beneath the tree, feeling the coolness of its shade. Ahmed offered him a glass of water and some bread he had baked that morning. As they sat and talked, the traveler shared stories of faraway places. He told Ahmed about his travels, the cities he had seen, and the many places where kindness was rare, replaced by greed and selfishness. "You seem like a man with a kind heart," said the traveler, sipping his water. "Not many people would stop to help a stranger. How is it that you live with such warmth?" Ahmed thought for a moment and then said, "It's simple. Every day I plant seeds of kindness. Whether it's helping someone in need or just offering a smile, I believe that kindness grows, just like the crops on my farm. You see, this tree here, I didn't plant it, but I care for it as if it were my own. Who knows, maybe it's growing because of all the good things I try to do." The traveler was moved by Ahmed's words. He had seen many places where people were too busy with their own lives to care for others, but here, in this quiet village, he had found a man who treated everyone with respect and kindness. After resting for a while, the traveler stood up to leave. Before he left, he turned to Ahmed and said, "I may not have much to offer, but I can give you something in return for your hospitality." With that, the traveler placed a small stone in Ahmed's hand. The stone was smooth and shimmered with an iridescent glow. "This stone will bring you something special," the traveler said. "But remember, kindness is the greatest gift of all. You don't need riches or jewels to live a fulfilling life." Ahmed thanked the traveler and watched as he disappeared down the dusty road. The next day, Ahmed couldn't help but wonder about the stone. He placed it on his windowsill and went about his daily work, planting, watering, and caring for his animals. Weeks passed, and the small tree continued to grow. One morning, as Ahmed was walking to his fields, he noticed something miraculous. The tree that had once been just a sapling was now full of vibrant flowers, each one bursting with color. It seemed that the tree had bloomed overnight, and the flowers had a fragrance that filled the entire farm. Even the animals seemed to be drawn to it, stopping to sniff the air as they wandered past. As the tree grew, so did the kindness in the village. The people who passed by Ahmed's farm began to notice the beautiful tree and the warmth that surrounded it. They stopped to ask Ahmed about it, and he would tell them the same thing he had told the traveler. "I just care for it, just as I care for my work, my animals, and my neighbors." Soon, people from the village began to visit Ahmed's farm more often. They came to see the tree, to rest beneath its shade, and to chat with the kind farmer who always had a smile to share. As more people gathered, the community grew closer, and the bonds between them grew stronger. The tree, once just a small sapling, had become a symbol of hope and unity. And as Ahmed's kindness spread, he found that his life had become richer, not in material wealth, but in the love and respect of those around him. One evening, as Ahmed sat beneath the tree, watching the sunset behind the hills, he realized something profound. The traveler had been right. Kindness was the greatest gift of all. It didn't require wealth, power, or fame. It was simple, like the earth, and it grew just like the crops in his fields. Years passed, and Ahmed continued to plant kindness in his community. He never asked for anything in return, but his life was filled with the warmth of friendship, the joy of helping others, and the beauty of the blooming tree that had become a part of him. The villagers often gathered beneath the tree, telling stories, sharing laughter, and helping one another. And though Ahmed's farm remained modest, his heart was the richest of all, for he had learned that the most beautiful things in life aren't those you can see or touch. They are the kindnesses you give and receive. And so, the tree continued to bloom, year after year, just as Ahmed's kindness did, spreading far and wide, making the world a little brighter, one good deed at a time. Moral of the story: kindness is the greatest treasure. It grows and spreads like a seed planted in the earth, enriching the lives of everyone it touches.
If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button. And for more fun stories, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. See you next time.